wishes. It's Holly. Welcome to Dandelion Stitches. Welcome, welcome, Dandelion Stitches, where we shake it up. It's a gloomy day. It's cold in here, and so I decided to just bundle up and get a blankie and sit and talk to you guys. So, how are you? How is everyone? Is it been a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? I know you're watching this on Tuesday, so the weekend was way back there. But I thought I'd just check. So today I think that we're going to do the Q&A questions. I apologize again for the glare in my glasses. I cannot seem to find a way to get rid of it. So we'll just pretend it's not there. But it is Tuesday, and so we are going to breathe. We usually set an intention if you are new to the breathing. We are gathering in love, joy, gratitude, acceptance, all the things into our hearts on the inhale, and then on the exhale, we let it out into the world. And sometimes we have an intention or people that we're aiming it towards. And I'm going to aim my intentions selfishly towards myself. I've had a bit of a setback. I have been very dizzy, and my balance is weird. My eyesight's a little weird. All of those things are normal for Parkinson's people. It's normal to just kind of have a few days where things are a little messed up, but I am better today than I was yesterday. So but I could use the affirmations of love and healing, and well, healing's kind of out of the question, but anyway, so we're gonna breathe just like we do every week. We're gonna do 10 breaths. We're going to sit as comfortably but as up straight as possible. Head to the sky, bottom to the earth. We're in the sweet spot, and we're just going to do 10 breaths after one good cleansing breath. So let's do the cleansing breath together. And then at your rate, in what feels good to you, 10 breaths. Last breath at your pace. And when you're ready, a good cleansing breath. Thank you, friends. So I'm going to set the timer on my watch for 15 minutes. And at the end of 15 minutes, I will stop with the questions, and then we'll pick them up again tomorrow. So I've got my little sheet of questions. So what is another hobby? This is from Buffy. What is another hobby that brings you joy other than quilting? Well, before Parkinson's, I did pretty much every kind of handwork. I knit, crochet, I did a lot of embroidery. But now it's hard. I can do some of it, but it doesn't bring me joy anymore because I'm always fighting the shaking. So, other than those like craft things, what really brings me joy is reading. I read quite a lot. I'll read pretty much anything. Right now, I am reading books on Parkinson's, which is kind of a downer, but I'm particularly fond of fantasy. I like fantasy. So, Lord of the Rings, you know, that kind of stuff. So, next question. This is from R.S62. I guess my question is, what kind of sewing machine do you use, and do you long arm? My sewing machine, I love my sewing machine, is a Janome Continental M8. It was a 2024. In fact, I got it, I think I went and paid for it in September, and I had to wait until November to pick it up because it wasn't out yet. It does literally everything. I've not begun to touch the surface of everything that it does. It's just it's a metal heavy duty machine. I love it. I just can't. It's amazing. I also have a brother whose name is Bob, um, that I keep around for if somebody stops over, we're gonna sew together, or if I do need to take a machine somewhere with me, that's Bob. My Janome is Josephine because she's bougie, and I thought she needed a bougie name. So that is, oh, and I do not long arm. I would love to, but I do not. And a couple of you wishes have offered to long arm for me. And one in particular, her husband long arms. And so I sent Rivers Quilt. It's the first time I've ever sent anything to a long armer. And I sent Rivers Quilt to them. And oh my gosh, it came back so beautiful. The long arm, it was lovely. It just, so from here on out until the end of time, those guys are my long armors. It happens to be somebody that I've become really good friends with here on the channel, and it's just, yeah. And if you can find a long armor that you really trust, you know, because sending out your hours and hours and hours of work to somebody to do a good job on it is scary. I think it's scary business. It was not that for me because I really trusted them, but yeah, I wish I did. I'd have to put a whole new room on the house though, because there's no more room. So Tammy also asked about hobbies outside of the craft room. Q&A, this is from Julie Newcomb. How do you choose colors for a quilt, especially if the fabric is busy? I think matching solid colors are no problem. However, choosing fabric to match a busy fabric is so hard for me. I hear you, sister. I hear you. I get it. Because I love crazy colorful fabric. The easy way is to rely on the collection, you know, whatever collection that goes along with that fabric, but that is not always possible. What I do is I take that piece of fabric, whatever it is, and I find the color in it that is prominent, but also the one that pleases my eye the most. Because, like, let's just say if yellow were really prominent, that would not would not make me happy. I need to find another color, prominent color in that fabric to make it work. And then I just try to, I'm not doing a good job of expressing myself here. Usually I start with fat quarters and I start pulling them out and laying them all over the place. Like, whatever colors, and like low volume prints or blenders or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be a solid. In fact, it rarely is with me. And I just start laying them on a table. I just start laying them all out. And, as soon as one doesn't really sing to me, it's out of there. And until I end up with the amount of colors I need to create that quilt. And then I start moving the pieces around so that they're not, because when you cut them up and you move, they're going to be everywhere. So I move things around so that when I'm looking at it, it's, oh, okay, it might look like that. Is that still okay with me? And then maybe I'll move them all around again and look at it again. Okay, it could look like that. Is that okay with me? And at that point, sometimes things go and we have to find another one to come back. But that's how I do it. I did finally get a color wheel, and I think I'm going to try to use the color wheel because in technically it seems like a really good idea. So we'll see. But I hope that helps. How did you meet your husband? I need a drink. Hang on. Every time I talk about Tom, I just like joyfulness. Tom and I have been married for 24 years. I met him through a friend. It's such a weird way at all. My friend's parents, she had grown up in the LA area, and her parents lived in Chatsworth, which, by the way, hey, Sharon, because Sharon lives in Chatsworth. And she was on Facebook in a group of other Los Angeles people who, I guess all lived in that general area. And at the time, Tom lived in Torrance, which is also in, Chatsworth is in the valley and Torrance is not. But I don't know. When the first time I ever flew over LA, I was like, what in the way? It just kept going and going and going. But anyway, she gave me a call one day and she said, I've got a guy for you. You've got to meet this guy. And I was like, well, okay. Well, so she introduced us, and we started to chat online, and she was right. He was awesome. But again, I was in Illinois and he was in California, and that is a problem. And at the time, he was working for a company who was contracted out to the Defense Department, and he was writing software that targeted like unfriendly missiles coming in. He's real smart. I like the smart guys. So then Diana was going to go home and visit her parents for a while, and they invited me to come along. And so I worked it out with my kids and everything. And okay, I'll go. So I met him at Diana's folks' house, and I know this is going to sound just cheesy as all get out, but when I saw him, I went, there you are. I've looked for you for my whole life. And there you are. I found you. We clicked instantly. It was honestly, truly like I had met him, I had known him in another life. that was just what it was. So we kept dating long distance for about 9 months, and he did not have any children of his own. So, the question was, does he move to me or do I move to him? And I had kids, and their dad was understandably not a fan of me moving to California. So Tom started putting out feelers for a job. What he did was fairly specialized, understandably, but he found a job doing something else, and he moved here, and we got married, and that's I can't I've especially now since I've been sick with the Parkinson's. He does everything for me. He at Kaisa's shower last weekend, he brought me a drink. He just anticipates that he's so awesome. I wish that kind of love for everyone. We have never, and I know this sounds weird again, we have never had an argument. We've disagreed on things and we've talked about them, but we have never had an argument. He's absolutely, can't imagine. He's the love of my life, and maybe other lives, I don't know. So, and the rest of this question is Dandelion your first dog, or have you always had a dog in the family? This is from Rhonda. Dandelion is not our first dog. We have not always had a dog in the family, at least for me. Well, Tom grew up in Mexico City. His life in childhood is a whole nother story that is pretty fascinating with 5 sisters. But anyway, I've always been a cat person. I've had a cat always, forever and ever. I think we had cats when I was born. And we had, our last cats were Himalayans. And we had 3 of them. They are from the same litter. I couldn't say no. They were so, oh my God, they were so cute. We've talked about another cat. Dandelion has a really high prey drive, and I am fearful that she will see it as a bunny. But I think we could do it. It's just not yet. As far as dogs go, we had one dog when Tom joined the family, Cody. Cody was a lab flat-coated retriever mix. And then when Tom was here, we got Cooper, who was a St. Bernard black lab mix. He was 150 pounds of junkyard dog and literally the best dog you could ever have in your life. I was walking him one day and I fell in a hole, and he immediately, his instinct, St. Bernard instinct, was he immediately came and laid his body next to me, and like, okay, we're gonna wait here until help comes. He's the best. And then as a graduation gift for my daughter, we got Samton, who was poodle and Tibetan Terrier, and that dog was, now mind you, I loved Samton with my whole heart, but that dog was nuts. Like psychologically not okay in the braino. But I loved him. So, and he was the last one to go. He was blind and deaf, but boy, we've always had a vet who would come to the house and put them down for us so that we could be with them, and boy, that was a day. But now we have Dandelion. So my watch just buzzed, so that's it for today. I'm just gonna finish this out, and then I will start again with more that I will film. I will put up on Wednesday. So be well, be safe, And I don't have any Zen, but yeah, no Zen. I'm Zenless today. So, kisses and hugs. Love you, bye.